All right, today we're jumping right into a pretty practical task, installing a new mainline kernel on Red Hat Enterprise Linux 8. If you've ever found yourself needing some cutting-edge hardware support or the absolute latest features on RHEL, well, this guide is exactly for you.
So you might be asking yourself, why on earth would I even do this? Well, maybe you just got some brand new piece of hardware that the default RHEL kernel just doesn't recognize yet. Or maybe there's a specific new feature you need that's only in the latest upstream release. If any of that sounds familiar, you are definitely in the right place.
Okay, let's break this down. Your default RHEL kernel. Think of that like your trusty old pickup truck. It's reliable, it's been tested for years, it just works. The mainline kernel, on the other hand, is like a brand new concept race car. It's got all the latest tech, it's super fast, straight from the developers, but it hasn't really been proven for long-term daily driving.
Okay, stop. Before we type a single command, this is probably the most important thing I'm going to say today. Let me be crystal clear. Mainline kernels are not officially supported by Red Hat. They are missing key patches, and they can, and sometimes do, cause stability problems. So the big takeaway here is, only use these for testing or when you absolutely have no other choice for hardware support.
So, here's the game plan for today. We'll kick things off by setting up the EL repo. Then, we'll get the kernel installed. After that, we need to wrestle with the grub bootloader to get it under control. Then comes the moment of truth, the reboot. And finally, we'll talk about your safety net and recap the whole thing. Let's get to it.
First things first, we can't just, DNF install a brand new mainline kernel. It doesn't work like that. We have to add a third-party software repository that actually provides it. And for that, the community go-to is a project called EL repo.
This is a super quick two-step dance. First, we import the GPG key. All that really means is we're telling our system, hey, anything signed by this key from EL repo, it's legit. You can trust it. Then, the second command actually installs the repository definition, which tells our system where to go looking for all these new packages.
And this is a classic mistake, a real pitfall. If you just go Googling around for this, you're bound to find old tutorials for RHEL 7. If you try to use that L7 repo on a RHEL 8 box, you are going to have a bad time. It's just going to break. So always double check you're using the right version for your system.
A good sysadmin always checks their work. So after we install the repo, we're going to run this quick command. It just lists all of our system's repositories, and we use grep to see if lrepo is in the list. If you see it there, you're golden.
Okay, repository is in place. Our system is prepped. Now for the main event. Let's actually get that new kernel installed.
So this is where the magic happens. That first command, it's kind of optional, but I like to run it just to see what's available, what versions I can grab. The second command is the one that does the heavy lifting. We're telling DNF, hey, look specifically in the lrepo kernel repository and install the package called kernel.ml. That ML just stands for mainline. Easy.
And again, once that's done, let's do a quick sanity check. We'll just list the files in the /boot directory. What you're looking for is a new file that starts with vlim dash and has a much bigger version number. If you see it, you know the files are on the disk. All right, so the kernel is physically on our machine. We're done, right? Nope. Not even close. Just because the files are there doesn't mean our system knows to use them when it boots up. We got to tell the grub bootloader what to do. So how do we do that? First, we need to see what grub, our bootloader, thinks is available. This grep command is just a clever way to list out the menu entries. Now, 9 times out of 10, the brand new kernel we just installed is going to be right at the top, at position 0. So we make it simple and just run grub2-setDefault 0. That's us telling grub, next time you start up, pick the first thing on the list.
Now, once we've told grub which entry to use, we have to actually rebuild its configuration file to make that change stick. And this is super important. You have to know if you're on an old BIOS system or a modern UEFI system. The command is the same, but the output path where you save the file is totally different. Get this wrong and it just won't work.
And here is another huge flashing red light warning for you. Never, and I mean never, edit that grub.cfg file by hand. It's automatically generated. The moment your system gets a kernel update, all your careful edits will be wiped out. Poof, gone. Always use the proper tools.
Okay, the repo is set, the kernel is installed, grub is configured. There's really only one thing left to do, the moment of truth. Let's reboot.
So we just run a systemctl reboot, let it do its thing, and once it comes back up and you can log in, run this final command, uname-r. If you see that shiny new version number pop up on your screen, hey, congratulations, you did it. You've successfully installed a mainline kernel.
Awesome. So, the new kernel's up and running, but we're not just going to end there. Being a good DevOps pro or sysadmin isn't just about knowing the commands, it's about knowing how to do things safely and responsibly.
So let's run through the do's and don'ts one last time. Do, keep your old kernel around. It's your escape hatch. Do, test this in a VM or a non-prod box first. And the big don'ts. Don't use a RHEL 7 repo on a RHEL 8 system, and for goodness sake, don't edit grub.cfg directly.
But what if the worst happens? What if you reboot and nothing? The screen is blank or it's stuck in the loop. Don't panic. Your old, stable RHEL kernel is still there. Just reboot the machine again, and when the grub menu appears, use your arrow keys to select the old one. Once you're back in, you can just DNF remove the bad kernel. It's a really simple recovery plan. So let's boil this entire thing down to 5 steps. 1. Add EL repo. 2. Install kernel ML. 3. Set the default to 0. 4. Rebuild the grub config. 5. Reboot and check with uname-r. That's the whole dance. And I'm going to leave you with this one last thought, the golden rule here. Mainline kernels are for the bleeding edge. They're exciting, but they're not for every situation. Always keep that stable RHEL kernel as your fallback and test everything thoroughly.